Welcome back to the deep dive. We're jumping straight into really the core challenge for any modern business today, building something that actually lasts.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a founder, or even just thinking about it, there's probably one question keeping you up at night, especially now with AI moving so incredibly fast.
Yeah, what is it?
What stops infinite competition, like instantly?
Ah, right. It's that underlying fear, isn't it? That generative AI has sort of leveled the playing field, maybe too much.
Exactly.
That constant worry, the chat GPT rapper meme, this idea that whatever you build, however clever, someone else can just clone it.
Maybe over a weekend hackathon.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's true, how do you defend yourself? How do you build a business that endures, not just something that flashes and fades?
It's a scary thought.
Oh.
Yeah, honestly, it feels like it could paralyze people from even starting. But what we want to argue today is that deep, defensible businesses, they definitely still exist.
They do. The moats, the defenses, they might just look a bit different now. Maybe less obvious than in the Web 2.0 days.
So that's our mission for this deep dive, uncovering those new defenses, those modern moats.
And we're using a really solid foundation for this. We're leaning on Hamilton Helmer's work, The Seven Powers. It lays out these fundamental categories for strategic defense.
Right, the classic framework.
Yeah. Now, his original examples, Facebook, Netflix back in the day,
Yeah.
they feel a bit dated now.
Sure, things move fast.
But the categories themselves, the underlying types of power, we think they're timeless.
Absolutely. So we're taking those seven powers, those moat categories, and rebooting them, looking at them specifically for AI in, say, 2025.
Which is critical because, like Peter Thiel said, competition is for losers.
Ah, yeah. Blunt but true.
If you're facing endless competition, your profits just get competed away to zero, the business dies. So building a moat isn't just nice to have, it's existential.
It really is.
And hey, as we go through these seven powers, we really want you listening in to think along with us.
Yeah.
Are you seeing AI startups out there that fit neatly into these buckets? Or maybe you see something totally new, a defense we haven't thought of.
Let us know. Drop your ideas, your opinions, your suggestions in the comments. We genuinely want to read them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so before we jump into Helmer's official seven, there's something really crucial we need to cover first.
Oh, what's that?
It's about timing, really. A moat is a defense, right? You build walls to protect treasure.
Makes sense.
So if you don't have any treasure yet, if you haven't built something valuable, you don't actually need a moat. You shouldn't let the idea of needing a moat stop you from starting.
Ah, okay. So focus first.
Yes. The absolute number one piece of advice is still find a customer. Find someone with real, excruciating existential pain.
Like I might get fired pain, or the business might fail pain, not just a nice to have.
Exactly that kind of pain.
I see
Solve that first. Often, the moats kind of emerge later, just from the hard work of solving that core problem deeply.
That makes a lot of sense. And it actually leads perfectly into this, let's call it an unlisted power. Power zero, maybe.
Ooh, intriguing. What is it?
Speed, just sheer velocity. For an early stage startup, especially against the big guys like OpenAI or Google, speed is basically your only initial defense.
How so?
Well, large companies, they have inertia. They get bogged down in what you might call craft, product requirement documents, endless specs, review cycles.
Like bureaucracy kicks in.
Exactly. Things take months, sometimes years. Look at the timeline for Google Bard, now Gemini. Startups don't have that baggage.
We definitely saw that play out in 23, 2024. You had companies like Cursor, like Windsurf. They weren't winning because they had some secret, better AI model.
No, not at all.
They won through just relentless, blistering execution. We heard about teams doing one-day sprints, shipping new stuff every single day.
Imagine trying to do that at a massive company. Impossible. That speed, that velocity,
Right.
It buys you breathing room. It buys you time to figure out the real lasting moat later on.
Okay, so speed is the prerequisite. Get something valuable built fast, then you need to defend it.
Right. Now we can dive into Helmer's framework, the real moats.
Let's do it. Moat number one, process power.
Okay, process power. This is about building a business that's just intrinsically complex and difficult to replicate. All that accumulated engineering, the logistics, the internal knowledge built up over time.
The classic example people always use is the Toyota production system,
Yeah.
right? That super efficient assembly line.
Exactly, that meticulous efficiency.
So how does that translate to AI? It's not just writing a clever prompt, is it?
No, definitely not. It's building a really finely honed, complicated AI agent that actually works reliably, under pressure, in the real world for mission-critical stuff.
This is where that weekend hackathon idea completely falls
What
apart.
anyone can maybe spin up a demo, like a basic AI tool for a bank doing KYC, know your customer checks.
But a demo isn't useful. A bank can't run its business on a demo.
Precisely. Think about a company like Plaid. They connect to thousands of financial institutions. If their system hiccups, if it gives bad data,
Millions of dollars could be lost. Reputation's ruined.
it's serious infrastructure.
Yeah.
It needs what we just call way better engineering. That's the process power. It's often in that painful last 10% of the work.
Getting from pretty good to actually reliable.
Yeah, getting to like 99% accuracy across maybe tens of thousands of weird edge cases you never thought of initially.
It sounds like drudgery, almost.
It can be. The painstaking drudgery moat, maybe. Plaid didn't just connect to a few banks and call it a day. They had to build incredibly robust CI/CD pipelines, continuous integration, continuous delivery.
To handle constant changes from all those different banks, keep everything running perfectly.
All the time. It's specialized, difficult, sometimes frankly boring engineering work. And often the big AGI research labs, they're not that interested in that kind of specialized grind. They're chasing the next big breakthrough.
Which creates an opening, a defensibility vector for a startup that is willing to do that focused, hard work.
Exactly. And building on that specialized approach leads us nicely into the next moat. Moat number 2.
Cornered resources.
Okay, cornered resources. This feels more tangible. Like owning something valuable that others can't easily get.
That's it. Coveted assets. Things that are valuable on their own that you can't just buy on the open market or where you have preferential access. Think patents or maybe exclusive rights to prime real estate.
Well, for a drug company, it's the patent plus the FDA approval. That's a powerful combo.
Huge barrier. Now, in AI, on the macro level, we see this with regulatory access.
Ah, interesting, like government contracts.
Yeah, think Palantir or Scale AI working deep within the Department of Defense. Getting that level of access takes years. You need trust, specialized, secure facilities. They call them SCIFs sometimes.
You have to embed people, spend serious time understanding their world.
Right. Once you've navigated all those regulatory hurdles and built that trust, you've effectively cornered a resource. The barrier to entry isn't just money, it's time and process. Years of it. Okay, what about on the tech side? Are proprietary models a cornered resource?
It's a bit nuanced. Initially, everyone thought having the best model was the only moat. It's a moat, but maybe not the only one. Where it really counts as a cornered resource is if you tune a model so effectively it gives you a massive cost advantage.
Like character AI. I heard they cut their serving costs by like 10x through custom tuning.
Exactly. That kind of cost reduction is a real asset. Competitors can't just replicate that overnight. It's a cornered resource derived from engineering and data.
But for an early stage startup, maybe without billions for training, what's the relevant cornered resource?
I think it comes down to proprietary data, but gained in a specific way, through what you might call the forward-deployed engineer model.
Meaning you put your engineers right inside the customer's business.
Pretty much. Startups embed engineers with customers, especially ones who often have clunky, outdated software. They sit there and just observe.
What are they looking for?
Unique, specific, sometimes really boring workflows. How exactly does this company process internal emails? What precise phrases does this call center use?
Ah, so you get hyper-specific real-world data.
Exactly. And that process yields truly proprietary data plus crucial evaluation data evals that tell you what actually works in that specific environment. You use that to tune your models.
And that feedback loop, that knowledge of the customer's reality.
That becomes your cornered resource. The big general-purpose labs, they can't easily access that level of specific ground truth data from your customer. They build the foundation, you build the tailored solution on top, defended by that unique data.
Okay, so speed gets you in the door, process power or cornered resources start building the walls. But what keeps customers from just leaving for the next shiny thing?
Good question. That brings us to moat number 3. Switching costs.
The classic lock-in moat, the pain of leaving.
Right. It's the cost, whether financial, time, operational effort involved in migrating away from whatever you're currently using, even if a competitor is maybe slightly better or cheaper.
We all know the classic examples. Ripping out an old Oracle database or trying to move a whole company off Salesforce. It's a nightmare.
It is. But here's an interesting twist with AI. An AI paradox, almost.
Ooh.
LLMs might actually reduce some of those old-school switching costs.
Oh.
Well, Imagine an AI agent that can look at two different data schemas and just automatically figure out how to map data between them. Maybe even write the code to extract data from those old, crusty legacy systems.
Huh. So AI could make migration easier, undermining the old moat.
Potentially,
Hmm.
but AI also creates a new kind of switching cost, a different flavor.
Okay, what's the new lock-in?
It seems to be based on the deep customization of the agent's logic and how deeply it gets integrated into complex workflows.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, think about companies like Salient or Happy Robot. They often do these really long pilot projects, like 6 months, maybe even a year, with huge companies, say
And
DHL.
during that time,
They're building incredibly custom, deeply integrated workflows, tailoring the AI agent logic specifically for how DHL handles financial consolidation or fraud monitoring, for instance. It gets woven into the fabric of the operation.
okay, I see. So once that massive effort is done,
Yeah.
and assuming it's successful,
That enterprise is basically minted, as
yeah,
they say. They're not going to rip that out and run another complex, time-consuming bake-off with a competitor just because they promise something slightly better. The organizational cost and disruption is just way too high.
that makes sense.
Right.
The switching cost isn't just data migration anymore. It's the re-engineering of the core process and the agent's embedded logic.
Exactly. And maybe on the consumer side, we're starting to see a nascent version of this with personalization. The relationship you build with your AI assistant, its memory of your preferences, that's a growing, though still early, switching cost.
Interesting. Okay, let's shift gears. Moat number 4, counter positioning.
This one's often seen as the most elegant,
Really?
strategically.
Why is that?
Because you're doing something the big incumbent competitor finds really difficult, maybe impossible to copy. Not because they can't technically do it, but because doing so would actively harm their existing successful business. It would cannibalize their own revenue.
Gotcha. So where are we seeing this play out with AI right now?
The most obvious battleground is pricing models.
How so?
Think about established SaaS companies like Zendesk or Intercom and customer support. Their whole model is built on per-seat pricing. They charge based on how many human agents the customer employs.
Right. More agents, more revenue for them.
But now they introduce AI agents. And if those AI agents work really well,
The customer needs fewer human agents.
exactly. So the incumbent's successful AI would directly reduce their own revenue stream. That's a massive dilemma. It forces them to be cautious, to maybe hold back the AI's capabilities or price it awkwardly.
While the AI native startup,
Has none of that baggage. They can structure their pricing completely differently, maybe based on work delivered or tasks completed by the AI. This aligns them perfectly with delivering value and avoids the cannibalization trap entirely. It often lets them tap into a different budget pool, too.
that's clever.
Yeah.
It connects back to speed again. The startup could just go for the optimal model.
Right. And we see this really powerfully in vertical-specific sauce, like Avoca, which focuses on HVAC support.
Okay.
They didn't just try to sell software based on seats. They shifted the conversation. They started capturing like 4% to 10% of the total customer support spend for that HVAC company. That's
Yeah.
way bigger than the typical 1% software budget share.
Wow. Accessing a totally different, larger budget.
And they counter-position not just on price, but on the job itself. They replace these high-turnover, often miserable call center jobs with more engaging roles managing the AI agents. The incumbent, tied to its old model and structure, just couldn't easily make that big a shift.
It's a cultural moat as much as a pricing one.
Sometimes counter-positioning is also just having a fundamentally better product or approach because you started fresh. Look at legal AI. Harvey was an early leader, focused heavily on fine-tuning models.
Right.
Then Legora came in, counterpositioned by focusing more on the application layer, the actual user workflow and product experience, arguing that was the key differentiator, not just the model tuning.
Or in customer support again, maybe a company like GigaML wins simply because their product works better out of the box, making the sales and onboarding much faster than incumbents struggling to retrofit AI.
Exactly. Another great example is Speak versus Duolingo. Duolingo is huge, but often seen as kind of a game.
Yeah, gamified language learning.
Speak counterposition by using LLMs for truly effective voice practice, focusing on superior learning outcomes.
Yeah.
That's a core experience shift Duolingo couldn't easily copy without fundamentally changing its app and user perception.
Fascinating. Okay, we've covered 4. Let's try and tackle the last 3 a bit more quickly. Moat number 5, branding.
Right, branding. People sometimes dismiss this because it takes time to build, but a strong brand is a powerful moat. It means customers choose you, maybe even pay a premium, even if a competitor offers something technically similar.
The loyalty factor.
Yeah, and the really striking example in AI right now is the consumer space. Think about it. OpenAI and ChatGPT versus Google and Gemini.
Google has arguably the biggest consumer brand on Earth. Decades of trust. Default search engine.
And yet, OpenAI ChatGPT captured vastly more consumer mindshare and actual usage, certainly initially. Why?
You could argue Google was hampered by needing to protect its giant advertising cash cow. They couldn't risk disrupting search too much too quickly.
Exactly. OpenAI had the freedom, the focus. They shipped something that worked, even if imperfectly, and built that default consumer AI brand first. The brand followed the execution and the speed, but once established, it's a real defense.
Okay, number 6, network economy, often called network effects.
Right. In the AI era, this primarily manifests as a data moat, or maybe more accurately, a data flywheel.
Meaning the more people use it, the better it gets.
Basically, yes, more users generate more proprietary usage data. Every interaction, every keystroke in something like Cursor, every piece of private data processed by an enterprise agent like Salient,
That data gets fed back in.
gets fed back to improve the custom models, often through generating better evaluation data, those evils again. This makes the product better, which attracts more users, which generates more data. It compounds.
It's not just any data, though, right? It has to be the right kind of feedback.
Absolutely critical. It's about the quality and specificity of the feedback loop generated by real-world usage. That curated, high-quality data, often reflecting successful outcomes or corrected failures, is the core of the network effect. Competitors can't easily replicate that specific improvement cycle.
Got it. And finally, moat number 7, scale economies.
The cost advantage moat. Basically, making huge upfront investments allows you to produce each unit of your product or service much more cheaply than competitors.
This seems most obvious at the foundation model level, right? Training the giant LLMs like GPT-4 or Claude 3.
Definitely. That takes billions in compute and specialized talent. Only a handful of companies worldwide can afford to play at that scale, giving them a massive cost advantage per token generated, essentially.
Do we see this much at the application layer for startups?
It's rarer, but yeah. Take XA, for example. They provide specialized web search capabilities for AI agents.
Okay.
They built their moat by undertaking a massive, expensive web crawl, a huge fixed capital investment upfront.
Right. Crawling a huge chunk of the web isn't cheap.
But once that crawl is done, they can serve that data relatively cheaply via API to many different customers. Any competitor wanting to offer the same thing would have to replicate that massive, costly initial crawl. That gives EXA a scale economy advantage.
Okay, that covers all 7, rebooted for AI, process power, cornered resources, switching costs, counterpositioning, branding, network economy, and scale economies.
It's a powerful framework, but if you're sitting there now trying to pick your startup idea by guessing which one will have the best moat 5 years from now, I think you're probably approaching it backwards.
Absolutely agree. We said it at the start, but it bears repeating. The moat isn't job number 1.
Find the pain first.
Find that customer with real existential pain, the kind that keeps them up at night. Solve that problem, and solve it with speed.
The moats, as we've seen through all these examples, tend to follow from doing that really well. They emerge from the specialized processes you build, the unique data you gather by being close to the customer, the lock-in you create through deep integration, or the clever ways you position against the slow incumbents.
Solve the pain, build the value, then defend it.
Exactly. And maybe here's a final provocative thought for you to chew on.
Let's hear it.
We've just spent all this time talking about how AI companies are building defenses,
Right.
using things like deep switching costs from customized agents or complex process power.
Yeah.
But technology never stands still. What if the next wave of AI, maybe super advanced code generation agents, becomes brilliant at attacking those very moats? Imagine an AI that could automatically understand and extract data and logic from those complex, calcified enterprise systems we talked about.
So AI could potentially undermine the very switching costs that current AI leaders are building.
It's possible. It's a counterpositioning attack using new tech. Always remember, today's strongest moat could become tomorrow's point of vulnerability. the game keeps evolving.
That's a fantastic point to end on. Always be looking ahead. This has been incredibly insightful.
Great discussion.
If you found this deep dive valuable, and we really hope you did, please do us a favor and hit that like button. It really helps. And subscribe to the channel. Make sure you activate the notification bell so you don't miss future deep dives.
And share it. If you know other founders, builders, or investors thinking about these problems, pass it along.
Absolutely. We're really looking forward to reading your thoughts, your own examples, your opinions down in the comments below. Let's continue the conversation there. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, everyone.
We'll see you next time.